The modular home industry has a dirty little secret. The factory builds maybe 30% of your project. You're responsible for the other 70%, and nobody hands you that list until something goes wrong. So let's start with the land itself, because this is where people get their first reality check. You found a lot, you picked your floor plan, and you're feeling great. Then you actually look at your property and start doing the math. A 100-foot crane is not a small piece of equipment. It needs room to maneuver, a flat, stable surface to operate from, and clearance from overhead power lines, trees, neighboring structures. The crane company is going to come out and do a site assessment, and what they tell you might completely change your timeline or even your floor plan. On rural lots, you might be dealing with soft ground that needs temporary matting or gravel work just so the crane can reach your foundation without sinking. On tighter urban or suburban lots, you might need to coordinate street closures, notify neighbors, get municipal permits just for the equipment access, and possibly trim or temporarily remove trees that are in the swing path of the lift. None of this is covered in your modular package price. Every single bit of it is on you. And then there are trucks, and there's the trucks. Each module of your home arrives on its own flatbed, and depending on your floor plan, you could be coordinating 3, 4, even more deliveries. These are wide loads. They need escorts in many states, and they need to physically make the turns onto your road, up your driveway, and into position. I've talked to owner builders who have had their country road temporarily widened or spent weeks negotiating with utility companies to temporarily lower power lines for delivery access. This is a reality of rural building especially, and it takes months to sort out, not days. So let's talk about what has to be done before any of this even begins. Your foundation has to be complete and fully cured. Not almost done, done. Which means your foundation contractor needs to be working from your manufacturer's exact drawings. Any error in executing those drawings to specifications creates serious problems on set day. You also need to have your utility rough ends coordinated, meaning your well and septic needs to be installed and inspected before your home goes down, because accessing certain areas afterwards becomes significantly harder. Your electrical service entrance needs to be planned and in progress, and in some jurisdictions require the temporary power pole before any construction activity, and the schedule for getting your utility company to connect permanent power can stretch out 8 to 12 weeks depending on your area. So you are the project manager for every single one of those moving pieces, and they all have to align with a set day that the manufacturer is scheduling weeks in advance. Set day itself, when it finally comes, is genuinely incredible to watch. There's nothing quite like it, seeing your walls lifted into the air and lowered into place. But experienced owner builders will tell you it is also one of the most stressful days of the whole project. You've got the crane operator, the setting crew, and potentially your foundation contractor all on site simultaneously. Decisions get made fast. If something doesn't line up perfectly, you figure it out right there in real time. The setting crew is working on a schedule because that crane costs money by the hour, and they have another job after yours. So this is not a leisurely process. When the trucks leave and the crane breaks down and rolls away, here's what you're left with. The modules are sitting on your foundation, but you're nowhere near move-in ready. What happens next is called button-up work. And it's a substantial phase of construction that often surprises first-time modular builders. The roof ridge needs to be completed and sealed. Any marriage walls where modules connect need to be finished, insulated, and drywalled. Your exterior needs siding and trim work completed at the seams. All your mechanical systems, your plumbing, your electrical, your HVAC, they all need to be connected across the module lines and then tied into your exterior utilities. Your porch garage, deck, or any other site-built additions are built entirely from scratch on location. And throughout all of this, you're scheduling inspectors for multiple phases and managing a whole new lineup of subcontractors. The modular industry is genuinely impressive. The quality control that happens inside a factory environment is real, and the speed advantage over traditional stick-built construction is legitimate. But the framing of modular as a simple turnkey solution does a disservice to anyone who goes in without understanding the full picture. The factory builds your home. You build everything else. If you're seriously considering the modular route as an owner-builder, the most valuable thing you can do right now is get on the phone with people who have already done it. Not the sales team at the manufacturer, actual owners. Ask them what surprised them about the logistics. Ask them how long the gap was between set day and certificate of occupancy. Ask them what they wish they had sorted out earlier. That knowledge is worth more than any brochure. If this kind of honest breakdown is useful to you, click on the link in the description to get started.